Gray Hunter. I just wanted to kind of make a quick video talking about my books of shadows. Remember from the first video I showed you guys, this was my original book of shadows. And it was just a 3-ring binder, and it had all kinds of information from, you know, like just reference stuff. And, you know, then I have some stuff in here, you know, that had some little spells I did with some drawings in there. And a lot of printout things. Anyway, you know, when you are first starting out, you know, you think you need everything because you just don't know. And so you print out everything, you write everything, you copy everything down. So anyway, this was just really something that I couldn't use. It was great when I first started, but you know, as my practice progressed and I got better and better, I realized that I didn't need all of this stuff. And it's all disassembled right now because I am making, you know, a new Book of Shadows. So what I went and done is I just kind of got some Post-its and went through every single page and put Post-its on the ones that I want, things that I can still use, some spells that I like, and I'll just rewrite them, tweak them up, and make them mine. So I did that with that. And like I said, this is a great way to keep it if you have it in a 3-ring binder because it's one book for everything. But I couldn't find anything. I mean, having that big old book didn't really help me because I was still looking for stuff all the time. It was just not organized at all. Oh my gosh, I hate this thing. So I got this book, you know, I showed you guys I got this second Book of Shadows in Fredericksburg, Texas, where my husband and I go to for our adult vacation time. Anyway, so I found this really, really pretty, you know, the Tree of Life, and I love this book. You know, I'm not going to use it for my Book of Shadows. I thought I was going to use it for a travel Book of Shadows, but I do all my magic here at home. I'm not in a coven. I'm a solitary witch. So why would I need a travel Book of Shadows? So I made this into an herb and magical recipe book, you know, and remedies. I have oils and potions here, but I'm not going to put oils and potions in this. I decided to put it in something else. But that's what I just started doing. Just kind of started writing stuff in here. And this is going to be about how to make certain things, you know, using herbs or just like it says, magical recipes and remedies. And that's what this book is going to be because I'm all about that. You know, and then I had my Book of Shadows handmade by a couple, Andrea and David. They used to own a company called Studio Grunge, and I don't think they actually have that anymore. They are in a business with someone else, but they make beautiful, beautiful books and everything from leather. I mean, they specialize in leather, and they make glasses and bras and bustiers and dresses. And so when I saw them at the Elysium Club, when I went for for a fashion show there for the Vampire Court of Austin, I saw some of their books, and I, you know, got their card and asked them if they could make me a Book of Shadows. And they said that they had never made one before, but they would love to do it. And so I was able to specially order this. And as far as the size, the color, the type of leather I wanted, you know, my symbol, my triquetra, you know, I was able to order everything, the type of paper, you know, I wanted tea stain paper. I was able to order this and make this my own. And as you can see, it's like 11 by 14, so you can see how big, you know, from another book here. It's really big. I love it. You know, I've been looking for a book that I could pass down to my daughters. I have 5 girls, and they are all practicing witches. I'm very, very lucky to be able to teach them. And that's something that we can do together as mother and daughters, and that's very special to me. And so this is something that I would like to leave behind. This book is just, it's beautiful. I can't say enough again how much I love my book. It is just a part of me. And because it's so special and because I want to share it with my children, this book has to, I have to be really careful about what I put in this book, because this book is already bound. You know, when I requested this book, I didn't think about having a book made that could be, I could, you know, disassemble it and add more pages to it. I've seen a lot of books of shadows that they do that, where they make the binding where they can take it apart and add more pages or take pages out. But this is already bound to this leather strap here. And I'm very happy with that. But that means I have to be very careful, because if I make a mistake, I have to rip a page out. And I am totally not into that. So I'm just taking my time in this. So there's still a lot of information that I want to put in this book, but I don't want to take the space. For example, you know, I'm a solitary eclectic witch. And being eclectic for me means that I study all types of magic, from hoodoo, voodoo, Santeria, gypsy magic, Native American, you know, any type of witchcraft that I can come across. I know a lot of witches pick, you know, they specialize in one, and that's great if that works for them. For me, I want to know it all, and that works for me. That's it may not be the right way, but that's my way, and well, that's all that matters, because magic is what I make it, and it's something. It's a passion. I love it, and so anyway, I don't know what my girls are going to specialize in. They may follow my footsteps, but if they do, this will have it all, because this book is going to contain all of my spells, and this also is going to have information in here, but not the type of information that I want to waste pages in. For example, with herbs, there are so many herbs. There's no way I'm going to waste all these pages on herbs, but it's critical information. It's information you need to know. So what I decided to do is make all of these binders. There's 5 different binders. And this one says herbs. So of course it's green, you know. And each binder, I have one for herbs. I have one for candles. I have one for crystals. And then I have one for incense. And I also have one for oils and potions. Each binder is going to contain all the information someone will need to know about herbs. About how to grow them, when to grow them, where to find them, what they look like, and the properties of each herb, as far as botanical, medical, and magical. And I just have it all divided in dividers. And so, you know, they or myself can come in here and say, oh, the Adam and Eve herb. And then I just have notes on it. You know, magical uses, medical uses, botanical uses. I also have some of the uses that you can use in spells. So this will contain that. And then there's also going to be a section on, you know, the history of it, and what role herbs play in my witchcraft. Like I said, I'll have sections where if, say, I need to make a healing spell for someone, and I can't remember the herbs that I need, I can have a section in here just for healing herbs, and it'll give me a list of everything that I use for healing, or what I use for hexes, or what I use for a love spell, you know, and so on. So anything that I need to know, or my daughters need to know about herbs or crystals, or any of these other things that I use, all they have to do is just pick up the binder. So, you know, I have one daughter who's into crystals. And, you know, there's so much to know about crystals. And the binders make it really easy, because I can put things in and take things out as needed. If she's not into herbs and all she wants to learn about is crystals, she can just work out of this book. And then, and so on, you know, and all the other ones. This works for me. I know it might seem crazy because there's like 5 binders, but this works for me. I'm a Virgo, and I like to be organized, and maybe this going, you know, a little overboard, but I'm very forgetful, and I just need it to be easy access for me. Now, in my Book of Shadows, like I said, this is going to have nothing but spells in it, my spell book. However, I am going to have some pages in here that's going to be a basic information on things. For example, I have a page in here labeled Gods and Goddesses that would say exactly what it is, what a god and goddess is, and the role that it plays in my witchcraft. Now, I don't have a particular god or goddess that I have connected to, but I am leaning more with Holy Death, Santissima Muerte. She's on my altar, and I'm really connected with her. But that doesn't mean that I can't be connected to another one, or if my daughters, they have a connection to someone, but they'll be able to find out what that is in my book. And also it'll have a section like on, say, divinations and altars and tools. So they'll know what a basic altar looks like, what it's used for, what goes on it, and as far as divinations, like you can use tarot cards. Okay, sorry guys, my husband had just called. Okay, I'm not sure where I left off, but basically this Book of Shadows is going to be passed down to my children. You know, like I said, I have 5 girls, and they're all practicing. And you know, even if they don't, this is something that they can keep that was a part of me, something that was very important to me. And so since this book is already bound by a piece of leather, and I have to be careful so I'm not wasting pages and not having to tear out anything, I am just taking my time and making sure that I do this one right. But I'll show you some examples what I'm talking about. This is my intro here. This page was, some of the drawings in here were by a friend of mine, Gabrielle Faust, I believe is the correct way to say her last name. If I'm mispronouncing that, Gabrielle, sorry, but I love you, girl. Anyway, so she did this beautiful drawing for me. And I think I'm going to put something here because I don't like how it's just like this. But I'm thinking I'm going to put either glue something or you know, material. Who knows? But anyway, I just have like book blessings and my symbol, what it means to me. More book blessings, dedication to my book, because my book, her name is Beauty. And then, like I said, you know, just spells to enchant my book. And this is talking about a solitary witch. Now, I did like this. I did lines. Okay, sorry, had to stop again. Okay, so what I was saying is on my pages here, I just did lines with a pencil. And that way I can, you know, write straight. Otherwise, if I don't have that, it's going to be completely chaotic and crazy. And then I'll just go and erase all those. But anyway, so I just have things like this. And here's one for my goddess and gods. And so I just have them all marked on the pages what it's going to be for. And then I'll just write a basic information on what a god and goddess is and the role that it plays in my magic. So throughout the book, I have stuff like that, like for moon phases. This whole page here talks about the moon. And I just kind of did stuff like on paper bags, tissue paper, you know, making it my book. Drawing down the moon. So throughout the book, I just kind of went through there and marked it. Like that's going to be for alchemy. Here's my pages on fairies. And that's just watercolors or matte pencils. Here's my fairy that I drew. And then, of course, you know, more lines so I can cut. So I can draw them right in there and then erase it. Here's my section on New Orleans. And again, I just went to the craft store and bought these cute little stickers. And I got this out of a New Orleans magazine. And this is just, really just represents a lot of New Orleans. And so this sectioned off with paper clips, this is all going to be on New Orleans. And we plan on going there next July. And again, these are more stickers. I got this one because I just think they're so pretty. And then I'll just write a spell on here. This whole section is for divinations, altars, and tools. And this is going to cover all of that. Like I have a section for Ouija boards, since I love Ouija boards. And it'll have stuff on bones and rituals, astral traveling, wands, bells, the chalice, you know, and so on and so on. I think that astral projecting does not go in this section. I just thought about that. And then, of course, another section here on hand fasting. And that just has, you know, the actual ceremony itself, the cords, what they represent. I have that in there. So in between spells, I'm going to have information areas like that. Like, for example, this is my information on vampires. So I just have a picture here. And then here, I'm going to write all the history about vampires. Now, I also have it sectioned off with paper clips. I'm very fortunate to know some vampires here living in Austin. The Vampire Court of Austin. And they have Logan South and Daly Catherine are the king and queen of the court. And I'm very fortunate to be a member. You know, I'm not a vampire. I am a witch, but I am one of their official photographers, and I consider myself to be a friend. I'm very, very honored to be part of their court and to know them. They're beautiful people, and I love what they're about. I love that they are very open about who they are and proud of it. And regardless of what anyone thinks or says, or vampires aren't real, or, you know, they live their lives as vampires. They're very proud of it. And I love that because, you know, as witches, you know, we get bashed a lot, made fun of, and you got to stand tall and strong and believe in who you are, whether anybody believes it or not. And that's what they're all about. They do a lot of charity work, and if you get a chance, you also should look on for Vampire Court of Austin so you can see what they're about. Sorry, I got stopped again. You would think that I would have to make these videos like at midnight or 1 o'clock in the morning when there's nobody calling me, no kids calling me, or, you know, anything like that. All right. So anyway, back to the vampires. So this is going to have the basic history on vampires. And then in here, I'm going to put a photo of the Vampire Court of Austin, and I'm going to talk about them and all the good that they've done and who they are. You know, put in a picture of the king and queen, and of course, the court. And my role in it, and what I think about them, and just letting the next generation know who they are and what they stand for. It's not all about, you know, blood and horror, or, you know, how people make fun of them. Like, oh my God, they think they're vampires. That's so crazy. And their fangs and their teeth. There's a lot more to it than what they see. And, you know, closed-minded people, they should just keep their mouths closed, I think. But whatever. I love them. I love them for who they are and what they stand for. And I want them in my book because they're important to me, and I want them in there because I love vampires. And, you know, there you go. Okay, so some more stickers here, like on my crystals. And so, example for like this one. This is my page on crystals and gemstones. So this is just going to talk about crystals, the history crystals have, and what they mean to me as far as my witchcraft. So then, but that's it. I'm not going to have anything else about that. So if they want to know anything else about crystals, crystal spells, or anything about the properties or what they stand for, they will have to go look in the binder, because I'm not going to waste pages on that kind of stuff. Then, you know, I have my witch's alphabet. You know, I'm going to write about chakras. So I just kind of put post-its throughout the book and putting, you know, where I want things to be. You know, elements and mirrors. You know, and I sectioned off the elements so I can also back here write about all of the Wiccan holidays. Even though I am not Wiccan, but I think that's very important to put in my book. I consider myself to be a bruja, just, you know, plain witch. I'm not a Wiccan. I don't like following the Wiccan rules or being a part of a group. I think there's nothing wrong with being Wiccan or pagan. when I first got into witchcraft, I read a lot about Wiccan rituals and the history, and it's beautiful. It's just, it's not for me. But I do have a lot of friends that are Wiccans and pagans. But for me, being a solitary, eclectic witch works best for me. Again, like I said, I just have sections marked here. Oil magic, cast in a circle, incense, all that. So you're just going to basically get a little basic idea on what that is, and then, you know, you can refer to the notebooks that I have for more information on candles, oils, potions, crystals, and so on. This is about my familiar, and these are actual real crystals. This is my citrine. I buy these little pieces like this. I bought them at the museum, the museum downtown. I can't think of the name of the museum, but you know, they sell them in little jars, little bottles, actually little glass bottles, for $1 a piece, and they are they're nice because they're full. Anyway, so I glued some down here to make like a collar, and then to make my kitty's eyes. But I use these little bits of crystals, like the citrine. I use a little piece of it in the oils that I make. And I do that. I try to buy as many as I think I have like about 8 little bottles. You know, because it's cheap to buy it for $1 versus going to the crystal shop and buying pieces that are clearly too big for my little bottles. So I buy those little ones, and I think I'll make a video showing those. Anyway, so on here it'll just talk about my familiar, and actually I have 3 familiars. I have 3 black cats, Salem, Gypsy, and Luna, and I'm getting ready to get a new one, and I believe we're going to name that one Sage, and that one's a gray and black cat, and but the other one is a black cat we're going to get, and I think we're naming him, oh, I can't think of the name. It's the name of Maleficent's bird in the movie Maleficent, Diavant. I think it's what that is. We're going to name him Diavant. Of course, I'll just be calling him Kitty. So anyway, you have the idea of my book. So I have a lot of pages empty because this is where my spells are going to be. And I'm also going to do some stuff in here about Native Americans as well. I'm going to just show you what I already have on Native Americans, but I guess it's too, I don't know what page it's on. I think, oh, it's right here. On the page it says Native Americans. My daughter started drawing this for me. It's a dream catcher. And so, yeah, she really needs to finish that up. But this section here is going to start my Native American. That's very important to me. It's part of our culture, and I really want to write about that. I'm also going to write in here a story of my grandmother, who was a bruja herself. And, sorry, I was trying to stick this in there. But anyway, my grandmother was a bruja, and she did a lot of stuff. She did a lot of bad stuff. I'm sure she did some good stuff, but, you know, I guess we know her best for the bad stuff. But she was very good, and she started teaching me at a very young age. I don't know exactly how old I was, but I remember learning from her, and she would teach me about herbs and how to pick them. And so she had a lot of stuff, and she has a Book of Shadows that I remember seeing her Book of Shadows, and that book got left for me and my sister, and we're still trying to get that book. But anyway, that's another video at another time. But that's all that I have for now. I hope you enjoyed this video, and just look forward to new videos, maybe one on my my book haul. All right, guys, talk to y'all later, and blessed be. Bye.